I know. I know. I was already on here earlier with Terry, but I wanted to jump on real quick, and I'm probably gonna get emotional on this live. But I just got off of I've joined Tony Robbins and his New Year, New Life challenge. Is like 5 days or something like that. And today was all about relationships, right? And so, me being the self love coach, the self love um, ambassador, or I'm a student of self love. I'm a teacher of self love. I just want to you know get more people to realize that it is so important for you to love yourself. If you truly desire, let me turn off these monitors because they're causing like, but if you truly desire to have a successful relationship, right, with anyone, it doesn't matter if it's romantic or platonic, you really and truly do have to love yourself, because when you love yourself, you show up as your best self in a relationship, right? And so then you're not putting all this pressure on your significant other to do things for you. Um, you're showing up 100% accountable and responsible for your shit, right? You have already taken the time to unpack your bags, and yeah, we all still have triggers in relationships, but when you love yourself, right? You know how to genuinely communicate with yourself, you know how to communicate with others. And yeah, like Tony and his wife, because it was him and his wife today, and like he said, they're two passionate individuals, and there's nothing wrong with that. And ladies, I want you to understand that there is nothing wrong with you being the ambitious woman that you are, but you also have to know how to lay that masculine energy down when you're in a relationship with a masculine man, with a man who's leading more from his masculine energy space, because it clashes, it depolarizes the energies. So, and women, we as women, we show up in our businesses in this masculine energy space, but a lot of us, because we have not taken the time to love ourselves, we're showing up in our businesses in the masculine energy space, but we're also showing up in our relationships in this masculine energy space. And um like, it was just so powerful today. And so, just looking at my relationships, and like, this is the reason why I take breaks from relationships, because I need to get to, what I used to say is that when I'm not in a relationship, that allows me to go back to the drawing table to assess myself, to see what I did wrong, how am I showing up? And it helps me to get better for the next relationship. I do not support going back to relationships that are that never worked out. Um, like, if we tried it and it didn't work out, 9 times out of 10 it won't work out, because even if you grow into the man that you're supposed to be, I have already grown so far away from that. So hi Martinica, thank you for joining. So I do not support going back to relationships. I support moving forward, because everyone has something to teach us in every relationship. um, but it's just so important, and knowing how I'm showing up in these relationships. Hey Albert, we're still on tomorrow for 10:30, right? My schedule is clear. I will send you a reminder unless you say yes here. And if you could just send me a picture, Albert, and I can do the announcement, because I totally dropped the ball with Terry. So sorry about that. But I don't know if you guys had a chance to. Hey, Rose, thanks for joining. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to get to Tony Robbins' New Life, New You, but it has just been 4 magical days, right? And so today him and his wife did it together, and they were talking about relationships, and for one, there's no middle ground in any relationship. You show up 100% in your accountable space and in your responsible space, okay? Because nobody else is responsible for the shit that we went through in our childhood. We have to deal with that separately, and then, you know, what I'm looking at is that, just take an assessment of my own relationships, and this is why I'm thankful that I'm in this space of singleness right now, because it does give me a chance to assess and to realize when I am in these relationships, when I'm not being seen or understood or, feeling unsafe. And also to know when I'm criticizing, my significant other, or shutting my heart down and trying to control the situation, survival will never lead to love. You can't be in survival mode. You really do have to be in that courageous and faithful, faith driven space. You have to be in that confident space. And that's why I teach self-love, because we all there's so many women and men out here who, want these relationships, but they haven't taken the time to love themselves, to truly love themselves. And, it's all about me. What can you give to me? And it's like, that's not what a relationship is about. A relationship really is about giving. It really and truly is. And it doesn't matter if it's the woman or the man. But women, if you are leading with love and you're seeing that he's not even willing to reciprocate that, then let that go. Let that go, because you deserve that reciprocation. But there's nothing wrong with you leading from your heart. Thank you for joining. There's nothing wrong with you being vulnerable and leading with your heart. That is the feminine energy. It's being vulnerable, and being able to be vulnerable with the man, and I am a firm believer, and this is what I teach in my program. I'm getting my program together as we speak, but I'm a firm believer of getting to know that person spiritually, or mentally, emotionally, and spiritually first before you even move to physical. And just like with my program, that's 3 months. That's the first 3 months. So physical is not to the 4th month. So, take your time in these relationships. And we as women, we need that. Never let a man pressure you into being physical with him. If you don't feel that space right then, don't do it. Don't do it. And if you are in a relationship and a man is pressuring you to have physical, relations with him, then that's not the relationship for you, because the man for you really will wait. He really and truly will. If he knows that you're the one that's supposed to be in his life, he's not going to pressure you into, having a physical connection with him right off the bat, so, and I don't want anybody to think that there's something wrong with that. But me personally, I want to get to know you, and I know that we're going to continue to grow and love each other. Hey, Sharon, thanks for joining. But, I need that for me, for my safety, because I have often in these relationships felt unsafe, felt unseen, and not felt understood and not felt safe in these relationships, so, being single and doing, being the self-love teacher, I really am living that lifestyle. As I've said before, I take myself on these 6 months challenges at a time, because I know if I focus for 6 months, that puts me 5 years ahead, so that's how I do my program. It's a 6-month program. If you feel that you're great in your physical space already, great. If you feel like you're great emotionally, mental, whatever month it is, then you don't have to join that month, because I'm offering the books at one price. You can either get the bundle if you feel like you need the whole entire program, or you can just do the monthly, jump in on that month that you feel that you need to, you need to work on, or you could be better at. But, just hearing Tony and his wife talk about, how it's important in relationships not to, not to hold on to that stuff. Like the feminine energy teaches us how to feel, and the masculine energy teaches us how to let go, and that's why we have both of those energies. And, it's so important for women to really, after you come from your business, it's really important for your man, your masculine, for you to shut down, not shut down, but change change that energy. Come to him in your feminine energy space, not controlling and criticizing him and closing off your heart to him and stuff like that, because we have to remain open, and letting go gives you so much energy. And I have learned that over these past 5 years, is that when you let shit go, it gives you so much energy, so much love. And that's the thing that I want to teach people, is that self-love gives you this greater depth of love, passion, energy. Like, you don't put yourself in these situations where you're constantly criticizing people and judging people. You just let people be people, and whether that resonates with you or not, that's fine. That doesn't mean that you have to be with those people, but I just feel that so many women want to control relationships, and you can't do that. The only thing that you can do is express your needs, and that's upfront. The things that you desire in a relationship. And the first way to know that is to know yourself, and that's the importance of self-love. Self-love teaches you how to know yourself, teaches you how to fall in love with yourself. And people will say, oh, self-love is selfish. It's not, though. It's not, because it gives you a greater depth and a greater capacity of love. Like, you cannot genuinely love other people in a healthy way without loving yourself fully and showing up in your full energy space, and knowing when to lay that energy down, so yes, nothing great happens until you do that. That is so true. But me being single, what I love is that, and Tony said that, like, even if you're not in a relationship, you give to all, and that's what I do. I give to all, and the reason why I desire to work from home and love working from home is because when I do eventually have that relationship, guess what I got? I got time, I got love, I got energy. Like, I got the things that I'm bringing to the table, and so I know what I'm able to give, and so I give that without hesitation. But I also know now that I deserve to receive it too. So I have no problem with giving it, and actually it's telling us, so my assignment is, the last relationship that I had, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'm gonna do this live, and I'm just gonna cut it up and post it in Tony Robbins' group. But so where do I see myself on the scale of criticizing? So my last relationship ended in July of last year. So I have just been focusing on myself, my goals, building my business, loving myself more, not entertaining anyone, because I did decide that I'm just going to go ahead and complete this year. Because my whole goal would be, after I left my marriage, was to really do 2 full years by myself, and I have not done that successfully. And after I left my marriage, I ended up meeting somebody, and that just turned into a situationship, and I didn't let him go until 2017. It was a mess. It was a wreck. It was off again, on again, and I know that was in the space of me not loving myself. And then I met someone at the end of 2017, and then spent the whole 2018 by myself. And then I met this other gentleman in July of 2019. So it was almost a year, because I met him like July 20th or whatever. But anywho, so I still need a whole year. So I had spent a year and 7 months by myself before I actually met that man. And actually, we had a really great relationship. Like, it was fun, it was playful, it was adventurous. Like, he gave me the attention and the effect. Well, I don't want to say attention. He gave me the affection. He we talked, we communicated, hey, Belinda, how you doing? Thanks for joining. There were certain aspects of that relationship that I really enjoyed. We were friends. We would go and hang out at the lake and talk. And like when we had an argument, we knew, we like never disrespected each other. Like, we talked. Like, he would call, like he he didn't just call me and talk on the phone. Like, we really wasn't heavy texters. He would call me and FaceTime me and do all those things. But he He liked to have multiple women, and I wasn't with that, so and I ended up, just we parted our ways, and I told him, take care, and I wish you the best, but that's not what I want. But I do see that in that relationship how I was a little critical of him, but and I don't want to really say but, um because I should have just left, once I seen that he was not faithful. And a lot of that was controlling. So I really do believe that controlling is probably very high in that relationship, because the things that I did, I can see how I was trying to control him and trying to make him something that he was not. And when I saw from the beginning that he was not ready to be faithful, he was going to continue messing with the other girl, I should have just left it alone. But I kept trying to control the situation. So I know that was probably very high. So I'm going to mark that as a 7. I did not close my heart off to him, because when he would, call or whatever, I would still talk to him. So I still was like open with him, and I still communicated my feelings to him. I did tell him, like, we can't be together because you don't believe in monogamy and I do. We don't share the same values. We don't share the same morals. Like, I'm not willing to share, a man sexually. So I typically try to keep my heart open, because I know that from a closed heart, nothing gets in. So I really do try to keep my heart open when it comes to men. And if I feel unsafe in the situation, then I'm not going to be in the situation, because at this point in my life, I need to feel safe, because I have had so many unsafe relationships that I'm not willing to put myself in another unsafe situation. But I did feel seen with him. I really and truly did feel seen with him, because he made it that way. We didn't text a lot, like I said, but he would call, he would FaceTime. He would call me, he would text me, like sometimes when he was at work, because he knew that I was at home working or whatever. But I had that time for him. Like, I had that time, I had that love, I had that energy, and I was in my feminine space. And there was a time that I did come out of that and shut myself off. But I told him, I was like, that's it. I found out you messing with somebody else, and I changed my number, went on, and then I reached out to him again, and that just was a whole mess. So, I'm honest with myself, and I see my patterns, and I'm, working on not doing that, because I do want, what my vision board says is a healthy, happy, passionate, fun, playful, adventurous, loving, monogamous, heterosexual, connected, compassionate, and interdependent soulmate relationship. That's exactly what I want. So I'm willing to wait for that, and I'm willing to continue working on myself. I got stuff that I want to accomplish, but even when that comes into my life, that doesn't mean I have to stop doing that. I realize now it doesn't have to be perfect. Hey, Fairs, Amani, I don't know. Thank you for joining me. But, nothing has to be perfect in order for you to have what you desire to have, because relationships are all about growth, and we have to be willing to grow together in that space. And I'm realizing that now. I do have that time and that love to give. And I know how to, even with my daughter, to shut that down, and take care of her and provide for her needs, and then come back and do my work. So I know that I am ready, heart-wise, mind-wise, spiritually. I'm just waiting on the person that's ready to, learn about each other before actually going down that physical road. And then criticizing, I know that I can be critical. I know this about myself. But I do feel that I'm doing it less now, because I'm not so quick to judge. Whereas I have been in the past, for instance, the man that I met in 2019, he drank and he smoked, which I really didn't care about that, but he had an addiction to, narcotics. Hey, Zan, thanks for joining me. And I understand that space because I've been there, but that's also not a good place for me. And, that's what I told him. I said, I understand, but I can't have that in my life, And so now I need to know going forward in these relationships that, if that man is doing that, then I don't want that relationship. I'm just jumping on here because I just, Tony, I just got off that Tony Robbins New Year, new. Oh my goodness. And it was just so amazing. I had to share it. It was just like, oh my goodness, self-love is so important. It is so important for us to have these amazing relationships. It really and truly is, because it's not about you. It's not about you and what you're gonna get out of the relationship. And that's what Tony said. Like, it's when we come to these relationships, we have to be looking at it like, what do I have to give this person? What can I give to this person? And that's how I've really been looking at my relationships. And then if it doesn't, I got to be more cognizant of, the people that I'm meeting, because I realize that I do as a energy, my energy is healing, and I know I attract a lot of, broken men that really need to go and take time for themselves and haven't, that, they are not okay by themselves. So I really, so they look for other women for attention. So I really do have to just be more cognizant and aware. And I think I'm getting better. I hope I'm getting better moving forward. But I know I am. The more that I love myself, the more that I continue to love myself, because I really do see growth in the relationship that I had with him, But I also do see that I was very open in 2015 when I met the man in 2015. I was very open. I was very vulnerable. I spoke about my emotions. I didn't blame him for my feelings. I said, like, when you do this thing, it makes me feel like this, not making him responsible for my feelings, just letting him know. And, I know that I have to be more open, and I have been more open because the universe continues to bless me, Yes. And that's really what I have to do going forward. If is this person a compliment or a detriment? I need a person that is going to add value, because I'm here to add value, and I also need that supportive partner, because and I don't want to say I don't want, because then that's fueling more, but I know what I want this time around, and I need that supportive partner, because I know what I'm here to do. I've always known that I've been this encouraging woman, this motivational woman, and that's not going to stop, because if I stop doing that, then that's pretty much the death of me. That's really the death of me. It'll kill my spirit, because I'm not doing what I was built to do. So I learned this about myself. So yes, closing my heart, I'm going to say that's probably a number 4 for me, because I don't tend to close off my heart to anybody, even people who have, betrayed me. I still love. That is me. Criticizing, I know that I can. It is a lot less now, because I'm not criticizing myself as much as I used to. So when I stop criticizing myself, I can stop criticizing the man in my life. So I'm going to say criticizing is probably a 5. But yeah, that whole control thing, I know that I tried to control because I'm trying to get a person to change, and I just need to let that person go. Because once that person shows me who they are, yeah, I'll see you in 50 minutes. Once that person shows me who they are, then, and I'm willing to still, be friends with a person, especially if it was never anything serious. It's like, I can still love you from a distance, but you showed me who you were, and I'm no longer trying to paint pictures of people. I do believe in people. I do believe in potential, but I think I've gotten myself in these situations because of me seeing the potential and not accepting the reality. And going forward, I need to just accept the reality of what it is, and not the picture that I painted in my mind. So That's all. I just wanted to get on here. I wanted to make me alive so that I can cut this and post it into Tony Robbins. And if you have not had a chance, it's one more day left. If you need an invite, let me know. I will send you an invite because I'm sure tomorrow is going to be blazing hot. And the good thing is that you can go back and get the PDFs from the previous days. So if you missed it, ask me some questions. If y'all got questions, send me some questions. If you want to invite to Tony Robbins, New Day, New You, DM me. Let me know and I'll send you an invite. Let me know your Facebook name and I will send you an invite because it has been magical and powerful. And I am pumped about going into this next phase because this is 6 months here for me. I am pumped about going into these next 6 months of my life. I am, and I'm just excited about what's about to happen. So I thank y'all so very much for joining me and being here. I am going to use this video for one of my 100. Okay. All right. I love y'all. Thank y'all so very much. Have an awesome, amazing, and beautiful day. From my heart to yours, as always. Namaste.